Welcome on board this overnight bus. But this is not just any bus. It may be the most luxurious way to sleep your way from Washington, D.C. to Nashville, Tennessee. This is the Napaway.
I'm Jeff Brooks from greenergrass.com. I hope you'll join me on board as we check it out and see what's inside.
Tonight's trip should take about 10.5 hours and will cover about 670 miles as we travel from our nation's capital to Music City, USA. I made my way from downtown D.C. to the pickup spot, which is in the Noma neighborhood. I arrived in plenty of time.
Pickup is at 10 o'clock at night, which as far as I'm concerned is fairly late, but I guess that's good because it means I'll sleep. So I'm gonna head over here to the closest restaurant there is nearby. It's actually a beer garden with some food trucks, and grab a quick bite, and then it's time to get on board. So let's check it out.
This is nicer than any airline business class lounge I visited, although I did feel a little ridiculous lugging my luggage around. But the beer and Argentinian empanadas made up for it. The hour passed quickly, and the coach appeared quite literally as I walked out onto the sidewalk. I took it as a sign this was going to be a great experience. I'm not sure about you, but I think this is a beautiful Prevost coach. I really like the wrap. It seems to match the promise Napaway makes of a restful night's sleep while on the move. Let's get on board and find out for ourselves. The company's CEO was there to help us get loaded up. First, there was plenty of room for luggage underneath the coach. Napaway suggests passengers head to the stop 10 or 15 minutes before their scheduled departure, which is plenty of time to load luggage and settle in. Now typically, a coach like this has up to 40 seats on it, but this one, well, it only has space for 18 passengers. Once you're on board, you'll find 13 square feet of moving real estate, all of it dedicated to you. The seats were carefully designed to take full advantage of the space available and to be flexible in the ways in which they can be used. In fact, Napaway goes out of its way to avoid calling them seats, but instead labels them convertible suites. And I agree. If this were on an airplane, we'd call it a top-of-the-line luxurious suite. Each one includes 2 seats, which fold down together to make one bed. You book this together. It's not as though you would book it for 2 people. When it's in its standard seating mode, it offers a great deal more flexibility. There are 2 fold-out tray tables. Now, this is nice because you can work on one and maybe have an iPad playing with some entertainment on the other. When you board, you'll find a Napaway nap kit. It's filled with plenty of essentials. Now, I've got to tell you, this eye shade, one of the best I've ever experienced anywhere. Each seat also has power in the form of 2 US sockets and 2 USB sockets. Up top, you'll find air vents, reading lights, and an emergency call button. Each passenger also gets a pillow, sheets, blanket, and a memory foam mattress. Again, the company's CEO was on board, and he believes Napaway fills a need for people looking to travel specific distances that aren't necessarily efficient for air travel.
And there's this middle where it feels like it shouldn't be that hard, and yet flying takes half a day plus. You know, even if you don't have any delays, just the whole process, you're not going to get door to door in less than 5 or 6 hours, and the whole 5 or 6 hours is dead time. Like, it's 30 minutes in a cab, and then 20 minutes waiting to check in, and then 30 minutes waiting at security, and then 40 minutes. It's just like you finish and you haven't had a chance to do anything. You know, work, leisure, it's just totally gone.
And speaking of being gone, we were on our way, leaving D.C. right on time. And the trip starts with an iconic view nobody can resist. I was tired. This was a late night departure after all, so I immediately converted the seat into its lie-flat position. The process was intuitive and surprisingly simple. The bed is as comfortable as any business class seat in the air, and maybe even more so actually, for 2 reasons. First, it's wider than most airline seats, and second, there's a half-inch thick memory foam mattress included. At the back of the coach, you'll find a pretty basic bathroom. Back in my suite, I pulled down the privacy shade and logged into the in-coach entertainment. There were plenty of choices, and it's nice to have this available on board. But I was asleep in no time. I woke up at 2:30 when we stopped for a crew rest outside of Roanoke, Virginia, but didn't have any trouble getting back to sleep. I woke up again for good at my normal time, 5:30 a.m., after 7 hours of reasonably solid sleep. We stopped again at about 6 for another crew rest break, this time about a half hour outside of Knoxville. Both of these breaks were at truck stops, so you're welcome to head in and grab whatever you might want to pick up there. I slept as well as I would have on any airplane business class seat. Maybe even better, this is wider. Although I did seem to notice the bumps on the road a bit more than I'd noticed turbulence, but maybe we can toss that up to the fact that I've only slept on a bus once compared to hundreds of times on planes. The bus leaves on Friday night at 10 o'clock with a plan to arrive into Nashville about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. There's a return trip that takes place on Sunday evenings and arrives back in DC early Monday morning. The booking process was super simple and fast. The website's really easy to navigate. As the sun rose, it became clear that Napaway's awesome wrap made it difficult to see out the window. I suppose that's okay, since the main purpose of the coach is to help its passengers sleep at night. I spent the rest of the trip working on this video. Believe it or not, I took the trip on a Friday night and published this video on Saturday. If you like travel and transportation experiences like this one, I'd invite you to subscribe to this channel because there's a new video posted nearly every week on Saturdays at 11 Eastern. What routes would you like to see this service offer in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Well, this is an experience that delivered exactly what it promised. We're arriving into Nashville right now. It's early in the morning. All the time getting here was spent asleep or getting a little bit of work done. And I've got a full day ahead of me, feeling very well rested and ready to take on the town of Nashville. Let's give Napaway a JebScore, the completely unscientific approach to rating travel experiences. We'll rate the lounge, the seat, the food, the in-coach entertainment, and the service. There was no lounge, but I love that the stop was next to the beer garden, and that means 4 stars. The seat is the standout element for this service. No doubt about it, it earns 5 stars. In terms of food, each passenger gets a bottle of water, but there's nothing else. I'm not sure how they could do it, but it would be nice to have had some coffee on board, especially in the morning. The bottle of water earns 1 star. The in-coach entertainment was fantastic. It was a nice surprise and earns 5 stars. There really wasn't any service. Now, I'm of course immensely grateful to the drivers who stayed up all night to get us on our way, but this category is reserved for cabin crew, so 0 stars there. That leaves the Napaway with 15 out of a possible 25 stars. But the real question is this: would I travel on Napaway again? And the answer depends on where they go next. Right now, this is the only city pair, but it's clear they want to expand. And when they do, I might be back on board. Ordinarily, I'd fly a route of this distance, but I now see the appeal of an overnight bus for distances like these. It makes the travel time productive, since I can sleep. And I save the cost of a hotel night. Plus, it's city center to city center without the hassle of an airport.
All time is not created equal. And stress time is not the same as relaxed time. And sleep time is not the same as awake time. And so, yes, obviously it takes longer overall, but the time is very differently spent. And when you're asleep, you wake up and you're there.
Between now and the next time, see you on the road.